Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn how to do competitive analysis with this reliable 14-step framework. Now let's be honest, competitive analysis is not the most exciting topic in the world. Now don't get me wrong, there might be a couple of people out there who just love the idea and can't wait to get out of bed and research the life out of their competitors, but that's not me and it's probably not you either. But here's the thing. If you want to build a brand, if you want to build a strategic brand that sits in the mind of your audience, then it is absolutely necessary for you to complete a competitive analysis and an effective competitive analysis. You see, there are up to 200 million businesses in the world, give or take one or two, and they're all selling services, products, and they're all trying to stand out in the marketplace. And smart businesses understand this. They understand that when they go into a marketplace, there are many other businesses trying to compete for their shared audience. And if they don't understand what their competitors are doing, if they don't understand what their audience has as an option in the market already, then they're not going to be able to position their brand effectively to stand out in the mind of their audience. Consumers in every industry are spoiled for choice today, and that's what competitive analysis is all about. It's all about understanding those choices, the choices that your audience has already in the marketplace, so you can start to identify what they're doing well and what they're not doing well, so you can make decisions for your brand. And this is all about getting into the nitty-gritty of who your competitors are, what they're doing well, their differentiator, their big idea. So there is a lot of legwork involved, but it's not all bad either, because if you have a framework in place, if you have a step-by-step formula, then it's just about following those steps one at a time, and then it becomes relatively straightforward. And if that's not incentive enough for you to go out there and start researching your competitors, then know this: there is gold in competitive analysis. In researching who your competitors are and what they're doing well, patterns start to appear, and those patterns represent opportunity. Now, any brand going into the marketplace without doing this kind of reconnaissance is just not going to survive. It's just as simple as that. There are already competitors in whatever marketplace you're going into, and there's probably a hierarchy of competitors in there with some top dogs representing sharks, and they have the attention of your audience. So a brand going into the market without the information of what their competitors are doing and what their audience likes and dislikes about what they're doing is just not going to have the information that they need to make effective decisions for the positioning of their brand. Brand builders that build brands strategically go out into the marketplace and they experience the competitors as a consumer. They really go undercover and go and experience each and every one of their competitors to see what they're doing, well, to look at their offers, their differentiator, how they're treating their customers, the overall experience of the brand, and then they use that information to make those critical decisions. And the information that they gather can answer questions along the lines of: what opportunities exist? What are the gaps in the market? How do we fill those gaps? What are the market trends? What features should we focus on? What benefits do we promote? How does our audience feel? Where is our audience being let down? How can we stand apart from our competitors? Without an effective competitive analysis, the answers to these questions would just be guesses, and that's not reliable information to make these critical decisions on. The information that you get throughout this competitive analysis will help you map the market landscape, and it's going to be the basis for all your positioning strategy decisions. It'll give you information such as similarities, differences, strengths, weaknesses, audience preferences, offers, customer sentiment, features, benefits, value, price points, differentiators, and market positions. And the point of gathering all of this information is quite simple. You want to find insights, gaps, opportunities in the market that you can use to find a differentiator so you can stand out in the marketplace to your audience. Now, the first step in your competitive analysis framework is to create a data capturing tool. Now, this is the easiest step in the entire framework. Quite simply, you just need to open up a new spreadsheet and create 3 titles in the first 3 columns, which should be number, name, and category. But what this is a tool for you to gather all of the information that you need to know about your competitors, which you'll then later analyze to make those critical decisions. Step number 2, identify your top 10 competitors. Now, the easiest way to start this process is to jump onto Google, type in what you do and where you are, and then start gathering the information that Google gives you. But the key here is relevancy. If you type in what you do and where you are, and you get a list of multinationals and you're a little startup that can compete with that, well then they're not your most relevant competitors. For example, if you open up a quirky book cafe and you have McDonald's down the road who are also selling coffee, but you have a hipster cafe around the corner, well then that hipster cafe is going to be the more relevant competitor to what you do because you share the same audience. So the key here about identifying your top 10 competitors is to make sure that they are the most relevant competitors to what you do. Step number 3, you want to categorize your competitors. Now, once you've gathered your top 10, you want to go through those top 10 and start categorizing them one by one. And they fall under 3 different categories. So your first is your primary competitors. Now, these are your most relevant competitors, as I alluded to before. So if you're the book cafe, then your hipster cafe around the corner is going to be the most relevant. Now, the secondary competitors are the competitors that solve the same problem, but they do that with a different solution. And then you have your tertiary competitors who solve a related problem with a different solution, but they can be seen as an alternative to what you do. So go through your top 10 competitors and categorize them one by one. But remember the key here with your competitors, you want to find the most relevant competitors. So the majority of your top 10 should fall under that primary competitor category. Step number 4, you want to go out and experience each and every one of your top 10 competitors as a consumer. So put your consumer hat on, visit their websites, their social media pages, and every single touch point that each and every one of your competitors has, so you can experience their brand as a consumer, as your shared audience, and that will give you a great perspective of what's out in the marketplace. Step number 5, you want to analyze their visual brands. So you're going to find most of your competitors online, so you're going to do most of this digitally, but if you do have a physical location and your competitors have physical locations, then go and visit their stores and pick up any physical branded content that they might have. But what you're looking for here is their logo, their color palette, their typography, maybe their image style, and you want to identify through these visuals what are they communicating? What message are they sending out? Are they sending out any characteristics within their visuals? Do they have personality? So have a look at all the elements of their visual brand and see if you can identify any of that messaging or any of those characteristics within their brand. Step number 6, you want to study their messaging. So on their website, on their social pages, if you have that physical branded content, go through all of the information, go through all of their messaging. And what you're looking for here are themes. You want to find key benefits, descriptors of their audience, differentiators that they might have, and then study how they're delivering this message. Are they delivering it through simple fact sharing? Is it bland messaging? Or are they using engaging storytelling? Step number 7, examine their human brand persona. Now, if your competitors have taken the time to develop their brand strategically, then they should have adopted a human persona for their brand. So they should be displaying characteristics through their personality. So check these out, see if they align with their visual brand. Look at the language they're using. Is it corporate? Is it conversational? And look at the tone that they're using as well. Is it professional or is it playful? So really dig underneath their personality, try and identify those characteristics and see if those characteristics align with their visual brand as well. Step number 8, engage in their content strategy. So do they have a blog? Do they have a YouTube channel? Are they producing videos? Are they producing articles? If so, what type of content is it? Are they helping their audience with techniques and processes, or are they just creating content for the sake of creating content? What about their social channels? Are they creating content just for likes, or are they actually going out there and generating conversations? So really get into their content strategy and see what they're doing with that. Step number 9, you want to analyze their marketing strategy. So have a look at their advertising. Are they advertising? Where are they advertising? How do they promote their advertising? What about free content? Are they giving anything away on their website? Do they have a lead magnet? If they do, follow that rabbit hole. Go through their calls to action. Go through their opt-in page and have a look at the emails that come through on the back of that and really start to dig into how they're promoting their brand, how they're advertising to their audience in order to generate looks and generate that traffic to their website. Step number 10, you want to experience their offers. Now, as you go through their brand, as you experience their brand, you're going to see offers throughout their content. At least you should anyway. So they're going to put some kind of offer in front of you to become a customer. So how are those offers structured? Are they offering free trials? Is there a low-cost entry point into becoming a customer? Are they offering discounts? or is their messaging justifying their premium position? So how is all of that coming together? How is their offer being put in front of you, and how are they incentivizing you to become a customer? Step number 11, uncover their differentiator and their positioning strategy. Now, all of the work that you've done up until step 11, your first 10 steps, will give you a very, very good picture of the overall marketing landscape and your individual competitors. Now, this step is about identifying what each and every one of them do differently. And what you're looking for here are underlying themes. They should be consistently attempting to position themselves in the mind of your shared audience through a very specific differentiator. And if they have an effective communication strategy, it should be easy to find what this is. If it's not easy to find what they're saying they do differently, and you're actually looking for it through your analysis, then it's not going to be easy for your audience to understand either. So if you can't find it easily, then it's not your fault, it's their fault. But what you really want to do is identify each and every one of the differentiators from your top 10 competitors. Step number 12, study their fulfillment and their customer service. So once you become a customer, then they're going to bring you through a certain process. They're going to bring you through a specific onboarding process to introduce you to their brand as a new customer. Now, you want to follow down the rabbit hole as far as you can go on this, and hopefully you've got a little bit of budget to be able to buy at least their entry-level products so you can really experience what it's like to be a customer. Now, if you've got a decent budget, you might be able to do this for all 10 of your competitors, but even having a small budget to do this for your top 3 is a really, really valuable process to go through. And even if your entry-level products for your top 3 competitors are around about $300, then that's a $900 investment for you to see what your top 3 competitors are doing through their onboarding process. So it's a really, really good investment to do this. And you want to really get in there and speak to their customer service operators, really become a customer and start to feel what it's like, really experience their brand as a customer. And this will give you some tremendous insights for what they're doing with their customers as a new customer comes on board. Step number 13, you want to analyze reviews out there in the marketplace. Now, this step is an absolute goldmine of information when it comes to making decisions for your own brand, for your own positioning strategies, because these reviews are emotionally charged, and that's what you're looking for. You want your shared audience to get emotional about the products that are out there in the marketplace, and these reviews certainly do that. So this is a window into their mind, and what you're looking for here is both positive and negative reviews. So the positive reviews are going to give you an idea of the desires that they had before they engaged the brand, and the negative reviews are going to give you an insight as to the fears that they had before they engage the brand. So these desires and fears are a window into the mind of your audience, and this is gold. This is real gold when it comes to defining what your brand is going to do differently, because if you can tap in to those fears and to those desires with the difference that you make in the marketplace, then you're going to gain attention in that market and you're really going to turn heads of your audience. Step number 14, you want to perform a SWOT analysis. Now, once you've finished your spreadsheet, you will have a spreadsheet full of information, and what you need to do now is to go and analyze that information and start mapping it. So start identifying the strengths and the weaknesses of each and every one of your competitors, and what you're looking for here are gaps in the market. Yes, the strengths of your competitors will give you ideas of what you know your audience likes, and you may be able to integrate some of that into your own brand, but that's not going to be your differentiator. Your differentiator is going to be born from the weaknesses that you see of your competitors, the gaps that they've left open, and then you take those gaps, you develop those gaps through creative thinking, and that's when you find a unique differentiator for your brand. Step number 14, you want to perform a SWOT analysis. Now, once you've finished your spreadsheet, you will have a spreadsheet full of information, and what you need to do now is to go and analyze that information and start mapping it. So start identifying the strengths and the weaknesses of each and every one of your competitors, and what you're looking for here are gaps in the market. Yes, the strengths of your competitors will give you ideas of what you know your audience likes, and you may be able to integrate some of that into your own brand, but that's not going to be your differentiator. Your differentiator is going to be born from the weaknesses that you see of your competitors, the gaps that they've left open, and then you take those gaps, you develop those gaps through creative thinking, and that's when you find a unique differentiator for your brand. So, as you can see, there's a bit of legwork in the competitive analysis, and unfortunately there's no getting away from it. You can't fast track this, you can't skip over it. But if you do follow that 14-step framework, it does simplify it and it does make it easier. And if you do it effectively, then you can find that goal. You can find those patterns, those gaps, and you can use those gaps to develop out an effective differentiation strategy for your brand. And this is where truly unique brands are born, by gathering this information and using that information to make those strategic decisions. So don't skip over it. Follow the 14-step framework. Do it effectively and set your brand apart from all of those other brands. And that's it. I hope this video helped. If it did, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. If you've got any questions, pop them in the box below. I'll do my best to answer them all, and I will see you in the next video.